answer that would be yes. The more places we can connect trails to other trails and other economies in other towns and cities, I think we're all better off. And if so, what are the ideas to make it a reality? Just keep doing the things that we're all doing. You all came here tonight, that's the first step. What can be done to make that reality? I would say the biggest thing we could do to make that reality is bring all sides together. I did throw the trains out there earlier and I didn't get to clarify that, where I was headed at. I was out of time there and I'm out of time now. So if you want to see me, I can talk about that afterward.
Yes, I do support making of the connective trail system, because then I think we could actually have events using our trail system, promote events like they have Western States trail runs. You know, basically we have something coming through. When we had the engine up in Tahoe that came down into Pool, there's such a huge economic boost for both areas, and I'd like to see more of that type of event. Obviously, there is the issue with the rails and the trails down as we get down farther down into the county. Obviously, the Supreme Court just took it away from everybody to take the railroads out. If you take the railroads out, you're going to lose the trail. So the kind of question of whether or not to take the rails out so you can make the trail, you're hitting up against a wall because one person within that trail says, no, you're not going to be able to go back and get your right away. So everyone's got to work together to make that happen. So the railroad right away is already there. Utilize that and make the trail connect all the way through.
Okay, I want to take a little bit different approach on this. I think it's important, and I think the people think it's important, but I'd have to try to convince some other people that are our neighbors that I think would appreciate the good press. Is PG&E, SMUD, EID. They haven't all got facilities up there, and maybe they could be of some help to assist us in financing and maintaining even maybe some of the trails that we have up there. But just to go on a little bit different arrow here, I want to talk about trails I think might be used a little more utilized, might be down among where we live. There's a lot of us that get a lot of use out of trails if we're down there and can get to it in an afternoon after work or in the morning before you go to work. And if some money could be spent down there, I think it might be more used for the citizens that live here in this county. So it depends on whether we're looking at revenue to draw people to go up there, or if we want to let our citizens use the money that we have here with trails that we have more access to. I'd have to weigh that out and see what the people want.
The short answer is yes, it's important. And coming from that Tahoe perspective, we're seeing what a difference a connective trail system makes economically in our community, in drawing residents and making them happy and getting them interactive in our community and for our visitors alike. So clearly it's very important. One of the issues here is that it has to be elevated as a priority within the Board of Supervisors to allocate the funding, the staff resources, and the energy to continue work on the El Dorado Trail, the Sacramento Placerville Transportation Corridor, and looking at our other trails. So that's really where it starts and where it continues, is creating that political will.
Connecting communities is important, as I mentioned earlier, and making sure that these trails are more connected is going to be better for all those different segments. The first thing that I would do is prioritize that. Right now, the El Dorado County Transportation Commission is going through a review process or a study for that for the El Dorado Trail and SDPC corridor. So I would continue to support that so that they can look at what the benefits of connecting all that is. But there's other areas or regions in the county that actually have trails that could be connected. I mentioned one earlier, like Henderson Rose Park, where we can connect it up to a state park trail that's already there. Those are the types of projects that if we prioritize those over the next 2 to 4 years, make sure that the Parks and Rec Department and the Parks Commission have the resources to do that, and start lining those up. It's something that's in the Park Master Plan, but we need a little bit more details and implementation strategy on how to do that. So prioritizing those would be really key, because then that helps you with the funding sources.
As was mentioned earlier tonight, collaboration is really important, and there are so many other groups. Up in Tahoe, there's other trail groups, a good portion of them, as well as down here. And what we want to do is get people together, to get the ideas together, to find out which are the best ones, which are the most practical ones, that we can attain, and then let's all work together to get them. Certainly, trails is an important aspect of someone's life, and I would certainly want to be able to work hard to improve them as best I can, and help the people of this community attain those things that will make their life better.
I'm not sure, of course, that all the trails need to be connected, or that it's even possible to do so, but we certainly have the main corridor that we, keeps being brought up, and that is important, I think, to have a link. And it's not just our county; it continues down, it continues through the next county, the next county. I think the plan is for San Francisco up, I think if I read it correctly. Now, that's a great dream. There's a lot of easements and property owners' rights to take into account. Some of them will be easy, and some will be very difficult. The trails going around from Salmon Falls down the lakeside and connecting up from Salmon Falls to Rattlesnake, it worked because volunteers said, let's get this done. The county said, let's work with it. The state parks said, let's work with it. So getting the players involved, getting them working together, enjoying each other's company to actually be productive. That's something we can do if we treat each other respectfully and are diligent in our efforts over the long time. And I think we can do some great stuff in a very short time. Thank you.
Yes, I think connectivity is vital because it's not even just about walking the trails. If we could get the Pony Express Trail going, that's a part of our history. That's incredible. That would make this all so much attached to each other. All of our communities could be attached with this park that's, like I said, is history. It's historic. So this is really, really important. We saw this when we did the Tahoe Rim Trail up in Tahoe. It just connected all of our communities. We always were talking about North and South Shore. All of a sudden, it was a shore. It was all one big shoreline. This is what can happen when you connect trails. I think it's the best thing we can do for our communities and for, again, for creating a history that we need to create in our area.
I think it's a great idea to go from even Folsom, but in our county, to keep it in Dorado County and go all the way to Tahoe. I think it's an excellent, excellent idea. I'd love to see it. Multi-use, I would love to see multi-use, but boy, that's going to take a long time and some years to do something like that. Be great, but I think that there's a way that we can all be together. It's common sense that we need to stick together. There's an old saying, treat people the way you want to be treated. And when you meet someone on the trail, a horse person or a jogger or a bicyclist or a hiker, have common sense and be nice to those people and back off and let them go by and say hello. A lot of times you just say hello to them and they'll love you. They'll talk to you and everything will be fine. So I think that a trail all the way through would be an excellent idea. And one of the things that you brought up tonight is the Forest Service. The Forest Service is going to be a big problem. Do not trust the Forest Service.
I think the simple answer to this question is yes. I think I mentioned connectivity before. The opportunity to connect Folsom to South Lake Tahoe, I think is a great opportunity, and I think that it can be done. The time frame and the cost and the consequence, I fear, might be related to the other question about the political environment, the ability to get things done in this county. That's why I actually voted for that question, because I fear that might be a gate or a rate limiting item to get to this. But I do think that it connects our communities together. And our county needs a strong and diverse economy. And the trail system is a very important part of the value proposition to come to El Dorado County, to live in El Dorado County. It also connects our economies together. And it helps shops and restaurants and bed and breakfasts. It's just all linked together. So I think that there should be a priority on the connectivity of trails. I think that we ought to try to connect Folsom and Lake Tahoe.
Connected trail system, yes. When I used to live down in Sacramento County, I remember riding all the way from Folsom down to Discovery So, just making sure you guys are